G'day, it's Desley here, and today I'll be talking about penalty rates. Now, I'm going to warn you, it's a little bit of a mind twister, so I'll try and do my best to break it down for you. However, it's always best to speak to the union official to make sure that you fully understand what your rights and entitlements are in relation to penalty rates. So let's start. So 21.1, penalty rates for time worked outside the spread of ordinary hours, Monday to Friday, and on weekends. Basically, the ordinary hours, as we've already discussed in a previous video, normally from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. However, the employer can take it back 1 hour to 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. or forward 1 hour, which is 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So they are the ordinary hours. And also what you're entitled to on the weekends. Now, it's a slight bit of difference between permanent employees and casual employees. We'll also talk about the difference also if you happen to be designated by the employer as a shift worker. It's a totally different rate again, except for the clauses in to do with the ordinary hours and also for shift workers. Employees are entitled to the following penalty rates for ordinary time worked. Now, as you can see on this diagram, they've got a few here. I'm not going to talk about the Monday to Friday rates per such, but I will talk about the Saturday and the Sunday rates. So Saturday rates apply from between midnight Friday and midnight Saturday. For full and part-time employees, it's 125%. For casual employees, it is 200%. Now, on a Sunday, it's split into two. Between 7 p.m. on Sunday and midnight on Sunday, outside of the spread of the ordinary hours. For permanent employees, it's 175%. And for casual employees, it's 200%, based on the minimum hourly rate. All these figures are on the minimum hourly rate. And for Sunday between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., which is inside the normal spread of ordinary hours as outlined in the award, it's 150% for permanent employees and 175% for casual employees. Now, bear in mind, as we talked about in the ordinary hours, the flexibility of the ordinary hours, that it is basically the spread can be slightly changed, move 1 hour forward or 1 hour back by agreement, but the majority of the employees do have to agree for the employer to extend the ordinary hours by 1 hour. It can't be both, it can only be by 1 hour, either back to 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. or forward 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it has to be by agreement. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is check your pay to make sure that if you happen to start at 5:45 a.m., you are receiving your penalty rate for at least the 15 minutes that you work if the spread of the ordinary hours has been pushed back by 1 hour to 6 a.m. So you need to get 15 minutes worth of penalty rates. If the ordinary hours the start is 7 a.m., then you need to make sure you receive 1.15 minutes of penalty rates. And we'll talk about shift workers in a minute. Just to note, Penalty rates are not payable for periods of overtime or time worked on public holidays. There are different rates for that, which will be, I've already done the public holidays penalty rates and rates for overtime. Check back to make sure that I've done that particular video. The Monday to Friday penalty rates do not apply when shift penalty rates apply in accordance with 21.2.a, and we'll go into the shift penalty rates soon. And the Saturday and Sunday penalty rates in clause 21.1a apply in substitution for and are not cumulative upon the afternoon and night shift penalty rates as set out in clause 21.2. So just so that you actually understand that, they're in substitution. Don't get both, you just get one or the other. Now, shift penalty rates apply only to time worked on afternoon or night shift by employees who are designated by the employer as shift workers in respect of the relevant roster period or shift. Again, using the example of starting at 5:45 a.m., well, that's part of the night shift rate, just so that you understand that. It needs to be paid if you are starting at 5:45 a.m. You are entitled to be paid at least that 15 minutes, if not 1 hour 15 minutes, depending on when the ordinary hours of work come into play, for the time of your start for that period. Now, employees on an afternoon shift will be paid 115% of the minimum hourly rate. And the minimum hourly rate is basically the base rate, and if you are a casual, the casual rate. It's 15% of that. I think it's a little bit misleading saying 115%, because really the 100% is your base rate and your casual loading, and then you get an extra 15% on top of those two rates as the shift penalty rate. And except as provided in clause 21.2c, employees on a night shift will be paid 115% of the minimum hourly rate. Clause C says employee during the period of engagement on shift work works night shifts only. It's a little bit different if they only work night shifts and they're not rostered on at different times throughout the day or the afternoon. Let's break it down a little bit more. I've put together a little example for you just so that we can try and understand it a little bit easier. If your base rate is $22.46 per hour, and that is multiplied by the number of hours that you work, that will show on your pay slip. If you're a casual employee, it will be casual loading is 25% of the base rate multiplied by the number of hours that you work. And the above two rates give you the combined, give you the 100% out of the 115% penalty rate. Now, the penalty rate for shift workers is 15% of the combined total of the hourly base rate plus casual loading hourly rate, and multiplied by the number of hours worked outside of the ordinary hours. So I hope you're with me so far. Let's break it down even further. So say the base rate is $22.46 plus 25% casual loading, which equals $1,615, which equals $28.08 rather per hour, times by the number of hours worked. $28.08 by 15% equals $4.2.12 or $4.21, multiplied by the number of hours worked outside of ordinary hours. We break it down in even further. So a total rate of $28.08 by 6 hours is $168.75. That's for your base rate and casual loading, plus your penalty rate at $4.212 by 4 hours equals $16.85. That would give you a combined total of $185.30. That makes it a little bit more clearer for you on how it's actually worked out, how to work out the penalty rate. Remember, on your payslip you will have base rate of $22.46 by 6 hours. Then you'll have the $5.6.15 by 6 hours, and then you'll have the penalty rate at 15% of $4.212 by, i.e. 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is, whatever number of hours you've worked outside in your shifts over the week, calculated in your rate and give you a total. I hope that's a lot clearer for you on how it's actually worked out. It took me a while to wrap my head around base rates, casual rates, penalty rates, etc. And I have put together a spreadsheet. Now, again, it just depends on what your hourly base rate is. So remember, if you're a more experienced operator, a call center operator, your hourly base rate might be a lot higher. So you need to work out whatever your base rate is, add 25% casual loading if you're a casual. That gives you, when you add those two together, the base, your hourly rate and your casual loading rate together, that gives you the 100%. And then you calculate the 15% on that 100% to get the combined total of the hourly base rate and casual loading rate by the number of hours that you've worked outside of the ordinary hours. If you want to check this out for yourself, you can do so. I will put the link to the relevant section underneath this video for you to be able to look at. If you still do not understand it, which can be quite a feat to try and understand this, I've tried to give you as much understanding as what I do understand. But what you don't understand, let us know. I'll shoot another video putting together more information as required, or contact the union official, who is Thomas, and he may be able to explain it a lot more clearly for you. Or alternatively, talk to your payroll officer, and ours is Carol, and she may be able to explain it a bit easier for you as well. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye for now.